What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video, a hoot and a holler. Actually, I don't know why I said that, because it's not very much of a hoot and a holler. It's a sad hoot, like a depressed holler, I guess you could say. Today's video, we're talking about my car accident, my most recent of the bunch. And, when I was younger, normally I would come on and just be like, yeah, I was high as hell, crashed into a tree. But this time, it was not my fault, Look at my car, though. It's donezo. It's donezo. And because my car is totaled, I really need this parlay to hit this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys think? I placed this parlay on MyBookie by signing up and using code GOBLIN, and you guys can do the exact same. Listen, if this parlay hits, we're gone. It's the peak time of the NFL season. It's November, baby. It's getting hype. It's getting gritty. We're getting towards the best, juiciest part of the season, and you can get in on the action by heading over to MyBookie today and signing up using code GOBLIN. Now, this car accident took place a week ago from today, and, this was a really shitty situation. I am pretty upset about this, and the reason I'm making this video is because I've gotten a bunch of comments like, Goblin, what happened? Like, explain the situation, and also, this is my first time being in a car accident in LA or any sort of incident like this, and bro, it is different out here. Like, people just pull up and just start filming the cops and, like, fucking with them. It is different out here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into all that juicy stuff. But one thing I want to clarify in this is that I'm not going to talk too much about the actual details of the accident itself. Listen, leave that to insurance, leave that to the attorneys. It does, the actual, getting down what happened to it, but the moral of the story is I'm not at fault, and it's very clear. The other guy was literally going the wrong way. Like, he was in, oncoming, right? So essentially, last Thursday, I was leaving my crib, and I was actually planning to go to a smoke shop. I was going to go grab a new bong, so I was like, damn, hey, let's head out. Traffic has kind of cooled down a little bit, but I live in LA now, so traffic never really cools down at all. But either way, I pull out of my crib, and I'm trying to hit the road, and I don't get very far from my house, I don't get very far at all. As I'm on the way to the smoke shop, I get to a stop sign that's, adjacent to a pretty major road. So I start to make a left, and as I'm making a left, I get about halfway through my turn, and some dude going the wrong direction just rips the front end of my car off. I have no idea how fast exactly he was going, but he was going really fucking fast because I wasn't going very quick at all. I was going maybe 5 miles an hour, and this guy ripped my front end off. He was going north in a southbound lane. Like, this guy was tripping, right? He was trying to cut traffic, I get it, but this guy was tripping, dude. So he ripped my whole front end off, and immediately all my airbags deployed, and I'm sitting there like, damn. What the fuck? Like, I didn't even know what happened. And I had Emily in the car with me, so we're sitting there, and we're like, I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. I'm like, what the fuck even just happened? Like, am I okay? I didn't really, there was so much adrenaline going through me. I was sitting there, and at first, the airbags came around me, it was all white, and I was like, yeah, we made it to heaven, boys. Like, hey, I didn't instantly go to hell or purgatory. We actually, after all the things I've done, we made it to heaven. And then reality hit, and I was like, oh, no, it's just the airbags. My car's totaled. It's a way shittier scenario than heaven. This is not heaven. This is far from it. Traffic accident in LA. There's a couple tweakers on the curb already gathering around, to pick up the scraps and sell them. Listen. Rough evening for me. And I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments asking me, if I'm okay and everything. And listen, I'm okay enough to sit down and make this video, baby. That's all that matters. I'm driving a piece of shit electric car rental now, and I hate it. We'll talk about that more later. But either way, I get my front end of the car ripped off, as you can see in the nice little picture that I showed earlier. And I get out of my car, and I'm kind of standing there just like in the middle of the road. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, bro, I was just so blown. At first, I was like, oh, okay, maybe if I could just push the airbags down, I could drive the car away. And then I looked at the front end of the car, the section that had gotten hit, and I was like, okay, nah, hey, I'm pretty sure that's gasoline leaking on the ground. There's like a mixture of fluids assembling below my car. The headlight was like damn near on the curb. There was no saving this. My Mercedes logo was also nowhere to be found. There was no saving this thing. So once I saw the damage, I was like, okay, we're in trouble. And listen, I called my insurance company. I filed a claim immediately, dude. I'm not fucking around. I'm not doing that. Hey, my buddy's got a shot, bro. Don't call nobody. Nah, bro. I called insurance while Emily was calling the police, okay? Here's the thing, though. Here in LA, the police don't really come for anything. And I've heard this rumor before, but I've always thought like, oh, you know, maybe it's just people exaggerating, or maybe it's just the news being like, you know, a little over exaggerating for some clicks and stuff. But no, the police in LA actually don't show up for this kind of shit. My car was in the middle of the road, totaled and leaking fluids, right? So realistically, at any point, this shit could have caught fire, right? Like there's a mixture of fluids assembling on the ground. If that touched like one little pookie that a tweaker dropped, it could ignite. It could be over with. So we're in trouble. It's a risky scenario. And also like, you know, it's impeding traffic. So you would think like, okay, maybe the cops will come out like quickly. We had to call the police 3 separate times because the first 2 times the line was busy. Like you called 911 and it literally just didn't go through. The third time we called at first, they were like, oh, we're not going to send anybody. And then we had to mention like, hey, it's leaking fluids and it's in the middle of traffic on like a pretty main road. And then they were like, okay, all right, we'll send someone just to direct traffic. And that's exactly what happened. They sent someone out just to direct traffic. He didn't do anything. He didn't take a report. I went to him and I was like, yo, can I, like, do you guys take a report, you know, so I can get it for insurance? He said, and I quote, this is bar for bar. Homie said, nah, we're, you know, taking a report we've found just wastes everyone's time. You know, it takes more time for you and us. So it's faster for everybody if we just don't take a report. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, like, listen, don't get me wrong. One side of me gets it, okay? One side of me is like, okay, this is a really big city. Like, the police are understaffed. They're defunded. You know, like, I get it, bro. But also, like, what? What? Like, they don't even take any notes. He didn't even verify if, like, everyone, like, the drivers were sober or anything. Like, the other kid driving the other car, it was some kid in his dad's AMG, bro. And it was hilarious because when he had to confess that, he got, like, real quiet. It was pretty funny. I was on the phone with insurance and the agent asked me, she was like, is the other driver, like, is it their car? Who's the owner? And I asked him and it was on speakerphone. He leans in, he gets real quiet because he had like a couple girls in the car with him or whatever. And he was like, no, it's my dad's. Oh shit. But nah, either way. So, you know, it was hectic. I asked the police to take a report. They were not down to do it. They showed up solely to direct traffic. But then things escalated very quickly. So, as the police are directing traffic, there was some dude who, I don't know what his deal was, but he was trying to drive like through all the rubble that the police were like blocking off, and he was adamant about it. So one of the cops comes up and like bangs on his window and shit, and he's like, yo, are you drunk? Like, what are you doing? And they get in a little shouting match. And the guy drives on, and instead of just leaving like he should have, this dude pulls over and jumps out of his car with his phone and just starts berating these fucking cops. He's just talking crazy shit. He's like, I'd beat your fucking ass right now. And he's got his camera out and he's trying to like egg the cop on. So one of the cops who's directing traffic takes the bait. Obviously, he comes over and he starts like, he gets up in his face and he's arguing back. I'm standing here and I'm like, dude, GTA 5 might be the most realistic game ever made in history. Like, this is literally a scripted NPC interaction happening right in front of my eyes. Like, this is not the kind of shit you would see every day in Chicago. But this is like just a normal day here in LA. This is different, bro. I'm not adjusted to this shit yet. So I'm watching this unfold and I'm amazed. And I notice like I'm recording this happen, right? But everyone around me is just like not even recording it. Like, this is just normal to them. And I'm like, what? Like, dude, this cop's up in this guy's face. Like, what? Like, this is about to get active. Like, what the fuck? No one cares. No one else at all. All of a sudden, more like rare NPCs started spawning in. There was these 2 dudes with like sideways hats, and they were dressed like Soulja Boy, bro. Like, huge ass pants, fucking oversized ass shirts came over. They're like, yo, G, like, what's good, G? Like, you straight, man? Like, they checked on me. I was like, yeah, man. They dapped me up. They're just like, cool, man. They just fucking left. I was like, dude. Dude, I don't know what the deal is out here. It's so eventful. Like, this car accident just expanded from just a simple accident to just the most chaotic scene in the span of like 15 minutes, dude. So the cop's now yelling at me. He comes over, he's like, hey, where's the tow truck at? Like, get him over here. I gotta call my tow. So I'm on the phone with the tow truck guy, fucking talking to them, and they sent the tow truck to the wrong place. They sent it to the wrong accident, so I had to be like, yo, the cops are about to tow it. Like, you guys got to come over here. So the fucking tow truck guys finally get there. The whole time, this dude who pulled over is still arguing with the cops and now yelling louder because he has to yell over the tow truck sirens, the little beeping that they do. So now it's a complete catastrophe. The cop is like really about to sock this guy in the face. And I mean that. Like, it was getting bad. He just started screaming, like the dude who was yelling just started screaming name and badge number at the cop. And the cop gave him a badge number that I'm 99% sure was fake. He was like 55455 or some bullshit, bro. Like, absolute hoopla. Never said a name, just hoopla, bro. Bullshit ass badge number. Honestly, I don't even know if this is a real cop, bro. This might have just been like a rent-a-cop. This might have just been some dude who just goes around LA LARPing. Like, who the fuck knows? His mustache was a little too perfect. So, like, I don't know, bro. Also, if you're watching this far into the video, RIP Mercedes-Benz merch is available now. Listen, help me get that new whip, baby. Hey, cop the merch, goblin420.com. Link in the description. You know the vibe. These shirts and hoodies are available for a limited time only, so get them while you can. Thank you guys for watching. Back to the video. So the tow truck finally comes, and they load up my car, and they pretty much rip the front wheel off. Like, as soon as my car got off the ground a little bit, my front wheel was flaccid. The axle pretty much didn't exist anymore. So I knew then and there, like, yeah, okay, the car's definitely done. Like, I kind of knew it before, but I definitely knew it now. I was like, okay, yeah, she's cashed, boys. It's donezo. So they load it up, you know, and they pull over to the side street so they can let me get my stuff out of the car and then go about my way, get my little Uber, go back home. And I go over to the side street, get my shit out of the car. And just like that, the cops leave. Paramedics never even came. The fire department literally showed up, but all they did, once again, like a GTA fucking NPC, they pull up, jump out of the fire truck, look inside of my car to make sure no one's in it, look in the other dude's car to make sure no one's in it, did not approach any of us, just got in the fire truck and left. Like, that's it. It was like a 10-second interaction with the fire department. Unbelievable stuff. So after, you know, the tow truck guys get my car, pulled to the side street, I grab my stuff out of the car, and I'm like, well, fuck, dude. I mean, I feel defeated now, you know? I was going out to buy a new bong. Now I don't have a new bong, and I don't have a car, you know? So I guess I'll just go home, you know, and smoke out of my old bong and not buy a new bong because I should probably save my money now, you know? So I went home feeling defeated, and then I got a rental. And listen, I need to vent about this. And, you know, you guys are my favorite people to vent to. Listen, okay? Electric vehicles are fucked, okay? And maybe a Tesla's different. Maybe a Tesla charges faster. But I have this little piece of shit Hyundai, and I got it because it was the cheapest option and because my dumbass didn't pay for rental coverage on my car insurance, okay? Don't even get me started, all right? So I had to pay for it. So I got the cheapest little electric, bro. I got a little Hyundai. And I take this thing to what's supposed to be the fast charger, and tell me why, if I want to go to 100%, it's going to take me over an hour and a half on the fast charger, and it's still going to cost me like $20 or $25. No, I've had it, and I can't switch the car, and I've had enough. You know what? I'm sick of driving this thing. The range sucks. It's like 200 miles. I'm sick to my stomach, okay? I feel repulsed. I'm sadder about driving the EV than I am about losing my other car. Like, I am much more defeated about the fact that I have to drive this EV for the next, 2 weeks until my rental expires and I can get a new one. Thank God I didn't rent it for a longer period. At least I thought ahead there. I was like, maybe I won't like the car. You know, I'll just, thank God I thought ahead at least a little bit at some point in this scenario. So, yeah, you know, that's the story of my car accident. I figured you guys wanted to know because of the obscene amount of comments and tweets I've gotten asking for the full story. Thank you guys for supporting me and supporting the channel, supporting the merch and the sponsors and all that. We'll be okay, baby. We'll be okay. We got insurance. We'll be straight. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, gamers.